What's up, guys? Coming at you live from Gen Con. We played in the Saturday regional, and we played Danny's inspired Mill Mastimon-ish security control deck, and we placed 27th. X2, I think they finished after 7 rounds. So yeah, let's get into it. So we played, the 4 babies that we played were Pagumon. Pagumon is on deletion, trash the top 2 cards of your deck. So this is good at like fueling your yard because you are, like I said, like a mill deck. You do want to like fuel your yard and are able to, you know, reanimate some cards, you know, put back options, do a lot of cool stuff. So this deck kind of functions, uses the graveyard as a second hand, similar to like, you know, 3 muskets and stuff like that. So that was the only baby we played because, yeah, I mean, that's all we wanted to do. In hindsight, probably want a 5th egg. There was one time that I ran out of eggs. That it would have been useful to have more eggs, but other than that, it was fine. For the Digimon, we start with the rookie lineup, and we did run rookies, a pretty heavy lineup for rookies for a security control deck at least. We played the 4 Gazimon and 3 Psychmon. Both of these are just essentially like the best floodgates in the game right now. This, you know, hedging against D Reaper and 3 muskets, and Gazimon just being good against, you know, black, blue, armor rush, just very good card, and it's just one of the premier floodgates in the game, and not a lot of decks have removal, so having these, by playing purple as your base, not only do you not have to play purple Tamers, which, you know, there's great purple Tamers, but it gives you better babies, because a lot of the time Salmon's not triggering because you're like at, you know, 5, and these babies actually, like, they give you a lot of value while not attacking, and there's not a lot of babies that exist like that. So yeah, this lineup was fine. You can maybe cut 1 Gazimon, make it 6. That's what the initial count was, but I went up to 7 because I just wanted to make sure I saw Floodgate as much as possible. Then we jumped straight into the 5s because this worked like a, you know, a Mega Zoo type-ish deck where you go from 5 to 6 immediately. So this is a big thing that made our deck, you know, a lot different and stand out from all the others. Lucemon Chaos Mode is just one of the premier removal cards in the game right now because its ability to interact with Tamers. So being able to interact with Tamers allows you to kill like Cool Boys. It lets you kill like the set 3 memory, the set to 3 memory Tamers. It also deletes pretty much any Digimon that you need to deal with the exception of level 7s, unfortunately. So. That is one big weakness to this deck. Interaction with level 7 sometimes you need to have like the Fly Bullet or the Chaos Degradation, but regardless you do have outs. But yeah, and it's really big for a level 5. This being in security is also big because you know, as you know, like all the big decks that are trying to OTK you, this being base 12 and then you add the TKs, Tamers to add this to make this bigger in security, just makes this like a huge threat, and you're able to like not only kill stuff, you want this in the yard, which is why you're playing 3. But and then its cost gets reduced by 3 for every card in your for every 10 in your drop. So you know, another reason why Pagumon and a lot of the milling provides extra value to this deck is because you can actually land this guy for pretty cheap, and we played Dead or Alive to bring this guy back as well too. So there's just a lot of value that he comes into. He's also a level 5 that you can evolve on top of, so you can go into your level 6s right off of this guy, which is big. Another level 5 that we played was Maycrack. Maycrack's really freaking good right now. A lot of the time you give them a lot of memory. Sometimes they don't have the baby out or whatever, or they do, and they really can't just like go all the way up. So sometimes they just start like hard playing a bunch of babies that like draw them, like filter them cards. So this is able to essentially 2-for-1 them. How this reads is on play or on digivolving, which obviously you're always doing on play, not the on digivolving. You charge a card in your hand. If it's yellow, minus 3k. If it's purple, delete a level 3. But the cool thing is, if you discard a multicolor card, specifically a purple and yellow, you can do both. So I 2-for-1'd a lot of opponents with this. And if you pair this up with Flame Hellscythe, you actually go minus 9k, and you get the minus 6 off Hellscythe, you get minus 3 off this, then you can kill, you know, a rookie. So I actually 3-for-1, you know, once with this. But yeah, it's really good. This is just a great card. It can essentially clear 2 rookies and paired with a Hell Scythe, kill something else. So 3 for 1ing is also really great. Also, this has a great inherited that's super relevant because, like I said, we're going from 5 to 6. So if our 6 is a multicolored card, this actually, if it dies, gains us 2 memory. It only really came up once because our level 6s are really hard to kill anyways. But they'll proc multiple different effects off this being the base. I might want to up this up to 3 after the performance this weekend. It's just sometimes I don't see this card and it's pretty bad. It's not as valuable to get, out of the cards. And then to round out the level 5, obviously the best level 5 in the game right now, I think, Magna Digimon. Like, it's just self-explanatory. This security effect came into, or this inherited effect came into play sometimes to give my Digimon extra security or extra DP to run over other big other of the big threats. So this guy's just obviously great. You play 4 because you need to mill him or get him in the yard somehow, and yeah, that rounds out the whole. That's 9 level 5s. So we played 9 level 5s, and then the level 6s. These are all the cards that would go on top of our level 5. So we have the Ofani mode, Fall Down mode. This is our premier level 6. Not only does it recover us 1, but in this deck actually, it can also, if it goes over a Lucamon, it kills a level 4. If it goes over a Magnamon, it recovers 1. But the coolest thing is, if it goes over a Maycrackmon, then we get both, right? We get to kill level 4, and we get to recover 1. And now when this dies, it brings back level 4, and we gain 2 memory. So this is actually like the god chain right here. Very cool interaction. I think, that's part of the reason why I wanted to see 3 of this, because we were playing 3 of this. So I think if you always have this chain, this stack, it's just, it's pretty overwhelming. And it's 12k, so it's not easy to kill, but if they do kill it, they get pretty punished for it in that way. And then we played double Sakuyamon because it's just good in this format. Like, almost every deck is promoting and then attacking. And against this deck, it's really tricky, right? Because they go to promote, they obviously can't attack you, and then you just removal spell, and then you just continue with their day. They have to build again. So this becomes like really annoying for them. And it's just a great card, honestly. The only problem is that this can't go over Lucamon, which was, sometimes awkward. Obviously, you need to go over a yellow, so this is cool over. It can go over Maycrackmon, not ideal, obviously, because you won't get the inherited. Obviously, great on top of Magna Angemon, but yeah, that's part of the reason why we played 2. Saw a lot of the other security control decks that Tops played 2, so I think 2 was great, honestly. And then to round out the level 6s, we played Junomon. Junomon was, just there as a few different things, right? Like, it's removal because it's got retaliation. 2, it's there for mill. 3, it's back. It's there for recursion. It can also go over. It doesn't have the same problem as Sakuyamon. It could actually go over our Lucamon Chaos mode. So this was really cool because obviously it can evolve over either color, even though this card is not multicolor. So even if you go over the Maycrackmon, it's not multicolor. It won't get the memory boost, but still a great card. It came up a few times, mostly to get our level. I don't really consider this guy level 6, but he's a mega nonetheless. You're obviously not evolving this over anything. This is essentially just like a free play level 6 that you're not really evolving over, obviously, because you don't have red. But the whole point of this is to recycle all your options back to the bottom of your deck so you don't deck out. It's also there as removal because it does out AK DP or less for pretty much free, because a lot of the times, like I said, this guy's cost will be 0. He's 11k, so he's a beater. He's pressure. And one last thing is that he's insane against 3 musket. Like, I played against a 3 musket player and I just destroyed him because, like, as soon as you got to like 6 to 8 names, I slammed this down, put everything back, including his Beals, put back all my options, so I restocked my deck, and then I'm able to Junomon, buy back the Avenged Kidmon. So this deck actually has a lot of way of recurring, like this card, and then this card recurring this card. So I felt like 1 copy is fine. I feel like 2 might be okay too, but I just feel like it's overkill. Like, you just need the 1 of. The only time that you suffer from that is when it's in security, but like I said, this game plan of like recycling your deck and stuff like that doesn't come up too much, especially in this format because it's very like OTK, very fast anyways. So that's it for the Digimon. Then let's go on to the Tamers, a very light splash of Tamers. We got triple Kari and triple TK. The Kari's there as a memory Tamer. It sets us to 3. Obviously, we need to have yellow Tamers because we have a purple base. So that's why you see a lot of the security control decks play purple Tamers because their base is yellow. In this deck, we kind of switched it up. Though our Tamers are a little bit worse in yellow, our babies are a lot better, and our babies just do a lot more for us. Because they are draw spells. So you got to think as these rookies as draw spells, but then they also provide an extra function of floodgates, which is why we went with the yellow Tamers here, just so that we can cast our yellow spells. Because otherwise, the only way we can cast yellow spells is by having a Magnangemon or a Maycrackmon on board. So with that being said, we went with these Tamers because they were the most cost-effective 2 mana TK. So for 2 mana, we can play this and then cast our yellow spell without passing turn, which is great. This is also very good against like Alphamon, which I played 0 of, by the way, which is kind of weird. Because it makes your stack big, makes your security stack big, makes your rookies big. So even though we are playing more creatures than our normal security control, this makes it a little bit better because now they become removal spells. And so this guy was really good. And Kari's there to set us to 3. And it also gains us memory if we recover. So at any time, like what I like the most is that we can play a very effective, memory effective game. But if our opponent sets us to 3, usually we get set to 3 with this, right? We play this instead of putting them to 4. This will put them to 3 because we recovered 1 off the Magnangemon. So the same is true for cards like Holy Wave and Muller specifically. This card is really good in combination with this because, as we said, right, let's say we did this, we put our opponent to 3 off this, then it's our turn again, we're at 3 with this on board, we do this for 4, we pass turn, but then Kari keeps it to our turn at 0, and then we can still get more value, we get an attack off of this, we put some pressure, and that's pretty much the name of the game with this card. It just makes these 2 cards much more just memory effective. And Holy Wave not as much because you go 3 to 3, it's a 6 mana spell anyways, but yeah, this was our Tamer count. I think 6 was fine. There were not a lot of times that I was missing yellow source enough to care to up this number, so I think that number's fine. Then with the options, we're starting off with Double Darkness Wave. This card was surprisingly good. Even when you don't buy back, like there were some times that I bricked, like super duper brick, and I had this, and I just like casted it to like choke my opponent because it's at 1, right? So sometimes my opponent would, put me to 3. I play a 3, and then I play one of these, put them to 1. Or there was actually one time that they put me to 1, and I just casted 2 of these. These are essentially mill spells, so they always trash the top 3 cards, and then if I control yellow Digimon, then I can return a yellow or a purple Digimon from my trash in my hand. So this is really good because we have the option to get both. With Calling from Darkness, not only does that card not mill you, but you also only can get back a purple, and you have to sack a dude if you have a dude. But if you don't have a dude with Calling, you can still like not sack it. But the main reason why this card is just strictly better in this deck is because you're milling, and I actually was able to win a game because I did Double Darkness Wave, failed to buy back anything because I didn't have a yellow Digimon out, and then when my opponent attacked me, I had Flame Hellscythe, and I had milled a Magnangemon, so I was able to get my engine going, even though I had bricked because of this card. And then this card, obviously, you can buy back the Junomon, and then Junomon buys back the Avenged Kidmon. So that's like a big cycle within itself as well too. It's also an extra spell for Avenged Kidmon, so that you can put it back. Miss Memory Boost. This card I actually liked a lot. Actually, we'll do all the memory boosts at the same time. Yeah, Reinforcing Memory Boost, obviously this card's limited for a reason. This card's insane. It only really sucks when you don't have a yellow source, but I mean, like, you're going to have a yellow source by the time you cast it anyways. And it also gains you 3 memory, where these gain you 2. This also essentially draws you a card. It looks at the top 2, draw the card that you want. This card was really good multiple times. I would hit like Gazi Holy Wave, and I'm like, okay, obviously Holy Wave to the top, Gazi onto my hand. So it's a good filter, draw, selective recover. And these were really good as well too, because it's cheap. So there's a lot of times I can play this memory boost, not pass turn, kind of filter for what I need, find my baby, go baby, draw, and then do something. So this was able to not only mill me, because obviously the trashing, fuels the mill and stuff like that. Drawing was good because, as you know, security control doesn't have a lot of draw power. You need to see what you need. So this was good for that. And then obviously being able to pop it, gain 2 memory, pop these off like all at the same time, then avenge Kidmon, put him back. Like there was just, you know, or sometimes I wouldn't be at like the exact number of trash that I need for like a Lucamon or a Dead or Alive or whatever. I could just pop these at any time from my board and then just automatically get to the number that I need to get to in order to proc multiple effects. Were really cool. And then obviously what's security control without Holy Wave? Obviously an 84, and this is pretty self-explanatory. I'm not really going to talk about it because that card's a staple. And then this is the purple, yellow good stuff, which obviously everybody and their mother plays in any type of security control deck because these cards are just absolutely cracked, and there's not really much else to say about it. Flame Hellscythe, I will say something about Flame Hellscythe. A lot of times I found myself getting back a Floodgate. So depending on your matchup, there are times where you Flame Hellscythe bring one of these guys back, which, you know, them being in your yard, you know, is helped by the mill abilities on a lot of your cards. And yeah, this gets around obviously a lot of the, you know, non-destruction or the destruction protection cards in the format because it doesn't destroy. Double Fly Bullet. Yeah, no, just good generic removal, can kill anything. And then double Dead or Alive. So Dead or Alive was essentially like our additional copies of Chaos Segregation in a way. They're just very expensive, heavy 8 mana removal spells with a really big upside. So they can play any purple Digimon, which is another reason why the Maycrack was really good, because our only targets would be Lucamon and the Maycrack, really, for this to proc. But the cool thing about Dead or Alive is that if you have a 10 or more in trash, you can actually play this from your hand. So, yeah, this came up a few. I think 2 is fine. I mean, this did save me in the game. It also brings back, like, random pressure out of nowhere. So it's kind of like, it's actually probably most comparable to additional copies of Hellscythe, because this is like a kill something, bring something back. So it's like a big tempo swing because now they lose attacks. You have additional attacks, you have additional pressure. This kind of does the same thing if it brings out Lucamon or Maycrackmon, honestly. They both like produce something in addition to the body that automatically starts you at 5 so that you can immediately like unbreak from your level 6, evolve, draw, and then just continue to get an extra effect. So that's pretty much it. I lost to Blue Hybrid and Wereguru. So I lost to 2 blue decks. And I should have beat the Blue Hybrid for sure. The Metal Guru, they drew pretty good. So if they draw really good, it's really hard to beat. But I was able to beat a red ADP deck, Wargreymon. So it's not unwinnable. It's not bad. I think it has a lot better of a matchup because of the Lucamon. You can pop the red source, you know, not get ADP, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and till next time, peace.